Yo, what's up, man? This is Q.
Q, how's it going, man? Hey, my brother, how's it going?
How's it going, brother? Man, I had one quick question, man.
For sure.
When we talk about the discourse in the United States and we discussing how people who prescribe to white supremacy, racism, bigotry, and all that stuff,
Yeah.
answer me this one question, and I just want to pick your brain on this. You see shows like Bill Maher, you see shows on MSNBC, CNN, town halls across the United States, and they allow these people to come on their shows
Yep.
under the guise of we're going to start a dialogue.
Yep.
Now, they allow these people with no resistance to come to college campuses, pay them all their speaking fees, and it's no problem. But the moment that we suggest perhaps we should have people on the left
Yep.
come and give their thoughts, it always blows my mind, man.
Shut
How
down.
Bill Maher has never had any woman like a black trans communist. There's never been an indigenous democratic socialist. There's never been, an Asian socialist. They don't allow representation of the left by people of color to come in and give their opinion to shift the Overton window, to shift the discourse. And I just want to know, at what point do you think that this will become acceptable, if it will at all? Or how do we break this door down to allowing this to become the norm, to let people on the left of all ideologies come on and shift the discourse?
Hey, that's a great question, man. Thanks so much for it. I appreciate the call. I think you point out something there that's critical for us to discuss. I don't care if it's every single day, but it needs to be discussed every single day. If we look at the video of Paul Conjemi and the racism that he espoused at a debate, I didn't even give the proper context. He was at a public debate for the seat of the mayor, for the mayoral seat. And the racism that he espoused was given a platform that was unchallenged, except for some hecklers from the audience or protesters from the audience. Had a socialist, even a democratic socialist, but let's just say a socialist, got up there and said that we need to nationalize the banks, or we need to nationalize all of our healthcare system. We need a single payer. If we anything remotely to the left of the Democratic Party, anything further to the left than Hillary Clinton, we would have heard about this all over the nation. We would have heard an outcry from everybody, from establishment Democrats to the Republican Party. People would have disavowed, like people who don't have anything to do with the person would have got on TV just so they could disavow and say, oh, this is a capitalist country, right? And this speaks to what you're saying here, Q. It speaks to the fact that the Overton window has been shifted so far to the right in America that a dude like Paul Conjemi can get a platform to espouse his hatred, racism, but anyone who espouses anything as far as an egalitarian society or even single payer would be lambasted in the media nonstop. I said it a couple of weeks ago. This is how far we are in America, where someone like Richard Spencer can get on CNN before someone as Cornel West. And I use him as an example because Cornel West really isn't as far to the left as America gets. There's just, a matter of fact, actually, let me roll that back. I'm going to show you how bad that example really, Richard Spencer can get a platform on CNN and get a feature on CNN, and yet they act like they're too afraid of DeRay McKesson. Like DeRay McKesson is too radical. This is how far and how skewed our political discourse is in the United States of America. And everyone in the media is complicit with it. All the mainstream. You mentioned Bill Maher. Of course, Bill Maher. I remember when I was in college. Here's where the suppression of speech at universities actually exists. When I was in college, you could not get someone who was pro-Palestinian on your campus to speak without them being shut down by a pro-Israel lobby or anti-Palestinian protesters. I remember time after time after time at the university that I attended, them trying to book someone to come and speak and be pro-Palestinian. And time again, you had protesters shutting it down. You had the university leaders shutting it down. You had activists, anti-Israeli, anti-Palestinian activists shut it down. You had anti-Palestinian special interest groups protesting it and shutting it down. And time again, you see that voice was suppressed all throughout my time in college. And now it seems like all of a sudden everyone gets they're woke now. Everybody is woke because, you know, people are trying to stop a Nazi from speaking. Now all of a sudden it's about free speech when, you know, so many years ago, it was about suppressing the speech of anyone who would speak positively of Palestine or have any critique whatsoever of Israel. I mean, even the most modest critique of Israel was suppressed. So all of these free speech warriors now, while it sounds good, where the hell were you? Well, hell, I mean, I might as well say it like 15 years ago. Where were you 15 years ago? When not a single pro-Palestinian speaker could come to a college campus. And it's similar now. You can barely do it now. You can barely be pro-black and get a platform now. College professors who speak out against white supremacy get reprimanded. Where are the free speech warriors there? And that speaks to exactly what the caller just represented or spoke of on the call. It's that the Overton window, the discourse in the United States has been shifted so far in a particular direction that anything outside of anything, I swear, anything DeRay McKesson and to the left is considered extreme and won't be given a platform. And I mean, I'm far more of a revolutionary than DeRay McKesson will ever be. And I've got some comrades who look at me and say, Ben is milquetoast as they come. Ben is an institutionalist. Ben is, you know, I've got some friends to the left of me that I don't even know that I can actually hang out with because they're so revolutionary. But they look at my politics and say, Ben ain't about that revolution. I look at DeRay's politics and say, DeRay's not about that revolution. But they look at DeRay's politics and say, oh, DeRay is a radical, communist, socialist, Black Lives Matter, militant, white genocidal. And that's how they control the discourse. They control the discourse by making you afraid of someone who's, Cory Booker. DeRay McKesson and Cory Booker are probably cut from the same cloth. But they want you to be so afraid of anything that is too, hell, I can't even think. I mean, they want you to be afraid of Hillary Clinton. Can we just, you know? And I think this is what bothers me the most about the Democrats, because they play the same game and try to make you afraid of anything to the left of them, while the Republican Party and conservatives make the nation and the world afraid of the Democrats. I mean, you have two parties who economically are pretty much in lockstep, with the exception of Donald Trump's idiocy and with the exception of a couple of percentage points on tax, on the top marginal tax rates. Economically, these two parties are pretty much the same. You know, the Democrats want to moderate some of the excesses of capitalism just a little bit. Republicans say, F that, let it all hang out. But both of them are pro-capitalist, pro-business parties, and they only vary by in the margin of error on tax policy. That's how modestly they vary in tax policy.